You know, dating events are just hilarious to me. I think us men should collectively just collect all the chads and just create our own dating events and just have the chads be there all the time. So women just rotate coming on in, seeing hot guys at the dating events and have them pay hundreds of dollars. I think we would have a pretty successful business model.
It's pretty safe to say that we men are winning,
Yep.
winning the relationship war with women. Not that there
It's because we don't require relationships to thrive and be happy in our lives. They do.
should be one, but let's be honest, the ladies have made it into one, so we men had no choice but to play. Now that we have, well,
We won.
let's just say the ladies are so far down, we should be invoking the mercy rule. Except we won't. And how do I know that we're winning? Well, because more and more we're seeing women in full blown panic. Seeing women asking, where did all the men go? Why aren't they approaching us? And getting even more desperate, meaner, and nastier as they do.
Yep. Each video went was, where are all the good men? Now it's like, men are just such trash. They never approach.
Men are winning because, as I'm about to show you, they can't even get men to show up to dating events. And even their so called dating experts are struggling to understand why. Like, say, this one.
Okay, men, please answer me this. Why is it that many of y'all refuse to go to curated dating events? I'm talking about events where the vibes are already set, the ambiance is right, the music is good, the drinks are flowing. You're basically guaranteed to meet somebody who's actually interested in you.
No, you're not. You're like, this is a straight lie. You're guaranteed to meet someone that is interested in you. What a bull face lie.
And is serious about dating.
Are we? Are we really? Because last I checked with men, and yeah, I speak to thousands of them every week, there aren't any women who are quote unquote serious about dating. At least not dating the average guy.
Yes.
The Chads, Tyrones, and Ricos? Sure, all day, every day. The men with money? Absolutely. As long as he's willing to spend it on her. The 9s and 10s they think they deserve, even though they are 2s, 3s, and 4s themselves? Hell yes, because, well, that gives them cred in the coven. Cred they can then lord over other women to make them jealous and feel unworthy. Those men, yes, women are willing to date, are willing to throw themselves at and give up the goods to in mere hours. But the average Joe, the guy who works hard, who provides, who sacrifices, who gives of himself without complaint, yeah, those men don't stand a chance. They aren't good enough, not to date, and certainly not to marry. Oh, there's
Yeah, women aren't out there. Where are all the average men at?
plenty of women who will use them for free meals or to get gifts out of them and the like. But actually date or get into a relationship with them? Yeah, no. And we men know that. Which is why we know that showing up to dating events like the one you're pushing is a complete and utter waste of our time.
Yeah, because we know the men you want don't need the dating event. They already get clamored by you women constantly. Why would they show up? They already rejected you guys. They're moving on to new ones.
That is, unless you're an actual rich man or a 9 or 10 gigachad. Not that those rich guys or gigachads are even going to show up to those events anyway.
Exactly.
Because they can pull actual high-end women who themselves wouldn't be caught dead at those dating events either. So why would those guys slum it at a dating event full of 2s, 3s, and 4s? Yeah, no. The reason, darling, that men aren't showing up to your little dating events is because you've all become so toxic, so delusional, so full of yourselves that you've completely turned men off. And when you add to it that you think that men who have actual expectations and standards of their own are abusive, controlling, and misogynistic, well, what do you expect? No, really, I'm genuinely asking you, why in God's name would you think a man would want to show up to an event and put himself in front of a bunch of women who think that way, who think the way you do?
It's like dating apps and dating events are not that far off from each other, right? It's just in real life. Why would the man want to go get rejected by like 100 women in person like that?
And spare us the "I'm not like them" speech. 'Cause you are, as you all prove every single day with your silly little videos and the thousands upon thousands of comments on them.
You're pretty much set up to win. Conversation starters and prompts so there's no awkward silence, a bit of a structured experience, and maybe a little turn up afterward.
Yeah, sure, darling, that could happen. But what's more likely to happen is that the man will end up being mocked, made fun of, and ignored unless he's super hot, super rich, or both. Not
It's probably going to be a group of women or all the women talk to each other and just talk about how creepy certain guys look or certain guys are. It's just what women seem to do.
to mention how y'all just love to take to social media after those events to trash the men who dared to approach you, who
Correct.
dared to think they're somehow worthy of you, who dared to show up to those events.
It's not that it's desperate people looking for desperate people. No, he's desperate. I'm here because I got abundance. I can get any man I want. I'm just here to see how desperate they are.
Which again begs the question, why? Why would any man want to go through that? Why would any man want to risk his reputation, his freedom, indeed quite possibly even his life, by exposing himself to not just one woman, but a whole bunch of them who would be more than willing to try to destroy him if they thought it would get them clicks, likes, views, and validation on the internet? I know, those things never happen, and you wouldn't do that, right? Except we men know for a fact that they do, and that you would. So
my question is it that dating events like this require a certain type of intention and vulnerability?
no, sweetie. Contrary to what you think, we men aren't dumb. We've done the math. We've looked at the risks, the very, very high risks involved, and the infinitesimally small chance of a reward, and said, yeah, no, they aren't worth it. The ROI with women these days is in the negative numbers, so there's no point whatsoever in going. Again, I know y'all will never acknowledge that, never admit it, because that would mean you'd have to take accountability for creating it, which is the case, and well, we can't be holding women accountable for anything now, can we? So yeah, that's the real reason why men aren't showing up, nor will they be anytime soon. To coin a phrase, not only isn't the juice worth the squeeze, and these days, well, let's be honest, y'all are about as fun to be around as milk that's been sitting in the Las Vegas sun for a week.
And the patriarchy taught you that pursuing connection with effort somehow makes you less masculine or something? Because the patriarchy told y'all that you're supposed to.
What? The patriarchy isn't like some entity that just speaks to us, you idiots. Like, what are you talking about? There's not some, yo, this is the patriarchy, guys. We're telling you, ignore women, hate women, because patriarchy. What the fuck are you actually talking about?
To just stumble into love and not actually prepare for it?
And there it is, women's standard projection and deflection. Blame it all on the patriarchy. You knew it was coming, didn't you? The whole it's all the men's fault. It's the patriarchy's fault. Good God. It is literally the only...
They act like men are just like, let's all get together, have a patriarchy meeting. You know, like, hey, we're going to ignore women today? Everybody, I.
comeback they have, isn't it?
I wonder if
it's
that's how
them
they
thinking
think.
that men are being cowards and afraid. No, sweetie, as you just showed, proved beyond any doubt with that last sentence, it's because you've all been so brainwashed by the cult of feminism, you can't even begin to see, let alone understand, the real world and how it works. No, pumpkin, it's not that men are afraid or because of your fake triarchy. It's that men have seen you for who and what you are. Toxic, narcissistic, devoid of any self-reflection or accountability. It's that y'all have become just plain nasty towards men. 24/7, 365. And no man is ever going to want to be around that. It isn't the patriarchy.
I mean, you can't say no, man, because there's so many simps out there that can just love to be stepped on by these women just to get any crumb of attention. It's pretty sad, Dan. Like the amount of simps out there that are willing to degrade themselves just for to be in women's presence is pretty stark.
Patriarchy that taught him that lesson. It's you, all of you, as you just proved.
Because we see how that's turning out. The women are doing the work. They're showing up, they're investing, they're trying something different, stepping out of their comfort zone, taking risks. Isn't risk taking a part of masculinity too?
Well, let's address that last part first, shall we? You know, the part where she's shaming men, putting them down, demeaning them.
For
The
not
part where she's
risking our
claiming that
lives.
only a real man would step up and be willing to take on the risk. I mean, she just put her hatred and dehumanization of men out there for the entire world to see.
Pretty much.
And yet,
And women like this are creating the dating events. Yeah.
she's wondering why men aren't showing up to her silly little dating events. Really? I mean, I gotta ask, is she really that blind? Is she really that self-absorbed?
I think so.
Is her head so far up her ass she literally can't see what everyone else can see?
Wouldn't that be double speak when your head is so far up your ass? It's like your head coming out of your mouth again, talking again.
Apparently so, considering what she just said. I mean, I'm just sitting here shaking my head at the audacity of it all. But it is the epitome of how today's women simply cannot handle rational thought and logic. How they think attacking men is...
They can't handle that they aren't the prize, that they aren't good enough. That's probably the biggest thing they can't handle. They're not good enough for regular, degular men. That's how far gone they are.
is somehow going to make the men want them. It is absolute insanity. And I remind you, this chick is holding herself out as an expert on dating, an expert on men. She's teaching other women how she thinks the best way to get men to show up is by insulting them, putting them down, and trying to shame them. And those lessons women are lapping up like kittens to a saucer of milk, all while we men are just looking at them and laughing our asses off as they do. It is both hilarious and downright pathetic at the same time. Now, as to her claim that women are putting in all the work,
Showing up to a dating event is literally all the work they've ever done.
what work, darling? Do you mean painting on the gallons of fake up like you did before you made this video? Or maybe squeezing yourself into Spanx and push-up bras in order to hide your true self?
Those Spanx, man. Catfish.
Maybe it's injecting the Botox and lip filler like a meth addict in order to try and look younger. Yeah, sure. I guess in that regard, you women are putting in the work. But when it comes to putting in the work about being a decent human being, when it comes to making the effort to give men what they actually want, when it comes to doing things like, oh, I don't know, giving men acknowledgement, appreciation, and respect, well, darling, as you yourself just showed, y'all have a long, long way to go before you can even begin to claim you're putting in the work. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but it is truly hilarious and pathetic how women think, isn't it?
So what is it?
It really is, Dan. Like, I'm not smart. Maybe I'm slightly above average in, like, smartness, but I'm pretty dumb, right? And when I look at women, and then when they speak and they say things, I'm like, bitch, you dumb? Because I'm dumb, and that sounded even dumber than what I can say.
Really? Is it the event itself or the unlearning the patriarchy part?
As I said, darling, it's neither. Not that you'll ever acknowledge or even listen to it because, well, let's be honest. In your mind, it's never women's fault. It's only men's. Again, let's call this for what it is. This is exactly how most, not all, but the overwhelming majority of today's modern women think and feel. And how they cannot and will not admit in any way that, in fact, it's they who are the problem, that they have driven the men away. It shows how they think they should all get the attention and that men should want to approach them when all they're giving men in return is nastiness, spite, delusion, toxicity, hatred, and outright chaos.
The juice ain't worth the squeeze because the juice is toxic.
It speaks to how truly insane and delusional they are. It truly is what women have become today and why men don't want anything to do with them anymore. Sorry, ladies, but you all are who you are, and we men see you for exactly who you are. Which is why we're not approaching you, why we aren't going to listen to you or show you any respect in return. It's why we are giving you the very energy back that you've spewed at us for decades now, just like this woman is doing in her video. Yeah, no, we're done. Done dealing
They can't stand the heat, but they were never in the kitchen in the first place.
with that. Done dealing with you. Done dealing with your drama and your ridiculous childishness. So, why don't you go have all your silly little dating events and date each other, since you all seem to think you're all so perfect, and just leave us the hell alone so we can go on and enjoy our lives. Enjoy our peace. Because let me make it abundantly clear to all y'all ladies, the ship has sailed. You aren't wanted, aren't needed, aren't necessary, and most of all, aren't worthy.